Merry meet. Welcome to Witch Magic. I'm Dawn, and I will be taking you on a spiritual journey to all things magic and witchcrafts. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Witch Magic. So this is the second part of the Little Herb mini-series, which is just the two parts. So this is actually the final episode of it. Hopefully you listened to last week's episode because I talked about the different types of herbs and what their uses are and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and just dive right in to this next part. So, according to Scott Cunningham, he's a very famous author. I love his books. If you haven't read any of his books, I highly recommend that you do. Anyway, according to him, there are 5 reasons why herb magic works. First, there must be a need to call upon magical power. Not a desire, but a need. So there is a difference. So we all want things, right? We all want to be rich. We all want to be famous. We want to live a long, healthy life. But magic usually works with just the things that we need. And for instance, I just want to tell a little story. I'm not going to put out any names or any more information than I need to. But I did work a money spell on somebody a while back. They were kind of in a hole. They were behind on their bills. Their place of business that they had at the time was losing money, and they asked me to do a money spell, which I did happily for them. So I did a money spell. And what happened was, this was a couple, and the woman said, well, what happened with the money spell? And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, we didn't get a lot of money. And I said, well, what kind of money did you get? And they said they had won money on some scratch tickets that they had bought and some lottery, just a small amount of money, nothing extravagant. And I said, okay, well, was it enough money to pay your bills and to get out of the hole? And she's like, yeah, but it was just enough. And I said, well, there you go. That's all you needed. That's all the universe said that you needed, right? And even though we would love to have more, it's not what we really need, right? So there is a difference between a need and a desire. And I just want to throw that out there because if you do a spell, whether it's for yourself or for somebody else, you have to keep in mind that you can't just have everything in the world given to you. That's not how it works, right? We have to work hard for the things that we want and need, right? So even if we can do a spell to help out, maybe pay some bills that we're behind if it's a money spell, or maybe to help with our healing, if we're ill or hurt. But in the end, it's only going to give you what you absolutely need. And we can go a little bit further into it. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this because I do want to get back to the herbs and everything. But we can talk about this in a later episode. We can have a discussion on the Facebook group. I would love to do that with you guys if you want. So just let me know. All right. So, but anyway, so there must be a need to call upon the magical power. That's the first thing. The second reason why herb magic works is a spell or ritual may need to be devised, and not necessarily a full circle ritual, but maybe just even a visualization of that need. Third, the herbs can be enchanted to be sure that their vibrations are attuned to the need. Fourth, the spell is worked in complete confidence and secrecy, because if someone mocks it, you might doubt yourself. Now, I don't actually believe that one. I mean, at least to a point. It's up to you though. So if you feel that if someone knows you worked a spell and they are skeptical, will that deplete your confidence? If so, then you might not want to tell that certain person, right? So I have no problems with anybody sharing spells that have worked in their past. Whether it be, we talk about it in private or you want to talk about it on the group, whatever the case might be. I don't believe the magic will go away just because you talk about it. But that is totally up to you. If you feel that it does, then don't talk about it. And certainly don't talk to skeptics, because they are just going to put you down, and they're just going to make up all kinds of reasons why you're wrong and they're right. So please keep that in mind. But in the end, it's how you feel about it. Okay? The fifth reason is once the spell is worked, it should be forgotten. Not that you make yourself forget that you did a spell. Just leave it be and let it work its magic. So in other words, don't hurt yourself in trying to think about it. Don't lose sleep over it. Just let it happen the way it needs to happen. And on that note, here is a list of magical intentions and the herbs you can use for them. Astral projection. You can use mugwort and poplar. Courage. Sweet pea, thyme, and yarrow. I'm just going to put this down kind of like a little list, okay? Divination. Camphor, dandelion, hibiscus. Fertility. Daffodil, hazel, mandrake, myrtle, patchouli, poppy, wheat. And if there are some herbs that I'm mentioning now that I didn't mention before, that's because I just wanted to kind of go through the most common ones with you. But these are all the ones that I found doing my research or in my practice that help with these certain things. So healing. To help with healing, you can use barley, bay, burdock, cinnamon, eucalyptus, fennel, hops, horehound, ivy, mugwort, myrrh, peppermint, rose, rosemary, rowan, rue, saffron, sandalwood, spearmint, thistle, thyme, vervain, and willow. That's a lot, huh? Hey, that just goes to show you that there's a lot of good healing vibes out there. To break hexes, you can use bamboo, chili pepper, hydrangea, thistle, and wintergreen. For luck, you can use aloe, bamboo, daffodil, hazel, nutmeg, poppy, and rose. To strengthen mental powers, use horehound, rosemary, or rue. For money, you can use basil, chamomile, clove, comfrey, dill, fenugreek, mandrake, mint, myrtle, patchouli, poppy, sassafras, vervain. Now, as I'm mentioning these, keep in mind that you don't have to use these all at once. You can use one or a mixture of a couple of them, okay? For peace, you can use lavender, myrtle, and vervain. Power, carnation, ginger, rowan. For protection, here we go. Here's another long list. Healing and protection are the two most common things that witches practice. That's why there's such a good reason why there's so many herbs out there that can help us with these things. So it's good to know. So for protection, you can use aloe, anemone, bamboo, barley, basil, bay, birch, carnation, cinnamon, cotton, cumin, curry, dill, dragon's blood, eucalyptus, fennel, frankincense, ginseng, hazel, horehound, lavender, lilac, mallow, mandrake, marigold, mint, mugwort, myrrh, parsley, rose, rosemary, rowan, sage, sandalwood, thistle, valerian, vervain, witch hazel. Okay. That was quite the shopping list, wasn't it? And don't worry about if you're trying to take notes. If I'm going too fast, I know it's hard to pause podcast. Actually, it's pretty impossible to go back and everything like that. I will have these listed. I'll put some of the list on the Facebook group, but I'll also put all of these on the website. So don't worry about it. You'll have it there. Okay. The next thing is psychic powers. You can use bay, cinnamon, honeysuckle, marigold, mugwort, peppermint, rose, rowan, saffron, star anise, thyme, yarrow. For purification, you can use bay, benzoin, cedar, chamomile, fennel, hyssop, iris, lavender, parsley, peppermint, rosemary, thyme, valerian, vervain. To help with sleep, you can use chamomile, hops, lavender, peppermint, rosemary, thyme, valerian, vervain. For strength, use bay, carnation, mugwort, saffron, sweet pea, or thistle. For success, you can use cinnamon, clover, ginger, or rowan. So, different ways you can use herbs is to burn them in an incense, roll an oiled candle through them, meaning put essential oil on the candle and then roll them through whatever herbs you want. Make washes. Washes are something that you would put on your skin. Teas, elixirs, and potions. Use them in a bath or even use them in your food with intention. There are many books and websites that can guide you on which herbs to use for certain things and how much of the herbs to use. There are certainly way more herbs than what I mentioned here. You would usually use equal parts of herbs, such as a quarter teaspoon each, with mostly water or oil. I've even made my own cleansers using herbs, so that's nice too because you can get your nice smelling herbs and get things clean. So one of the best books that I found out there was called The Master Book of Herbalism, I believe that's what it's called, by Paul Bereyl. And it gives you recipes for different things. If you look back at the index to what kind of magical working you need, it'll point you in the right direction of what herbs to use. So I highly recommend that book. It's an old book, but it's awesome. So anyway, you can find many herbs at your local grocery store. And the ones you can't get there, you can get at your local witch shop, or you can even get them in the mail. They are really inexpensive, and a bag of herbs goes a long way. The best thing to do, of course, would be to grow them yourself if you can. Crush them and mix them with a mortar and pestle. Remember to do your research on these herbs and be sure they are not toxic and that you are not allergic. That's my disclaimer. Otherwise, do not ingest or use them on your skin. And you should store any leftover herbs in labeled containers and store them in a cool, dry place. If you have any more questions or comments about herbs, you can connect with me on the Facebook group, Instagram, or my email. If you want, you can share your experiences with herbs. I will say that, although I use herbs at times, I'm not an expert. I do my research before these episodes, and I give you my understanding about it. So I encourage you to do your own research as well before you use any types of herbs. All right, magical people, thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to support this podcast, please give me a 5-star rating and a review on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, if it's at all possible. Share with your friends. That would be a good thing too. And connect with us on Facebook and join our discussion. Have a very magical week. So that's going to do it for today. I will be airing these podcasts about once a week, so be sure to tune in. You might want to choose to get notified when I air so that you don't miss a thing. If you have any comments, please feel free to connect with me on my Facebook group. I will leave the link to that, along with my website, on the show notes. Blessed be.